guys, welcome back to Astroways. Last two episodes, we learned about the Bazi chart of two very important people in history, Winston Churchill and Marilyn Monroe. Both of them were yinyang people. Winston Churchill had a strong chart and Marilyn Monroe had a weak one. We learned how to find your lover element in the chart. Some people asked, what if I don't have a lover element in my chart? Am I not going to get married if I don't have one? Don't worry, I'm sure you will have some lover element in your 10 years luck pillars. When you enter that lover pillar, then it's time to meet the love of your life. If you don't see any lover element, or at least you don't have any until you're 70 years old, or you already had one when you were too young to get married, don't worry, in every chart we always have a position for your wife and husband, and one of the things we're going to learn today is to see when you have a high chance to get married from the position perspective instead of the element perspective. Now let's take a look at the chart of our great martial artist and philosopher, Bruce Lee. Same thing we do when first look at a chart. We find the person's self-element. Bruce Lee was a yang person. Remember what I said about yang people in the wood element episode? They're like big trees that provide shelters for others. They're wise leaders. They like helping others. And they're very honorable and reliable people. Second of all, see if this person was born in season or off season. In his month pillar, water has the strongest position. Water produces wood. Bruce Lee was born in season. He was born in a good family. Parents were supportive. The reason why I always ask you to check the month pillar first is because the month pillar represents parents. Having supportive elements in the month pillar, 9 out of 10, this person was born in family with good financial status. And the year pillar represents your ancestors. See if your family has been passing down inheritance or fame. Sometimes you find this pillar is the least effective pillar. That's why I said in the beginning, what zodiac sign you are, what animal of the year you were born. It matters, but still not super important. It all comes down to combinations. And the time pillar represents your children, how they get along with you and what they're like. As for the day pillar, we all know the heavenly stem of the day pillar is your self-element, and what we need to learn today is the earthly branch of the day pillar, which represents your partner. It's the position of your wife, your husband, the parent of your children. Here we need to be clear about one thing. Lover element is different from lover position. Lover element is to see what your lover is like. It doesn't have to be your wife or husband. It applies to any relationship you have. Lover position is to see what your wife or husband or long-term partner is like. Lover element can appear and leave and appear again. Lover position won't. No matter how many times you change your lover, some characters won't change. Elizabeth Taylor was bound to marry a rich husband. Then no matter how many times she got married, the husband was always a rich one. The lover position is not only what appears in your life, it's also what you're looking for in life, what your preference is in life. Let's come back to this chart. In Bruce Lee's chart, his partner position is a young earth, which is also the lover element for him. In this case, we say his lover element is in place. His partner is where she needs to be. Also, he got another lover element on heavenly stems. In this case, we say his lover element has root. One on top, one at the bottom, it's stable. Lover element in place and has root. And it's not the self-element's enemy. In this case, 9 out of 10, this person has a happy marriage life. Same theory. He had water, supportive elements in the month pillar. the parent's pillar. Supportive element is the parent element. In this case, we also say his parent's element is also in place. In place is always a good sign. Now, next step, let's analyze Bruce Lee's chart. He's a young wood born in winter with lots of young earth. This chart is cold and wet. It needs fire to warm up the water so that it can benefit the wood. Good job, he got fire on his month pillar. And dragon crushes dog. Dog turns into fire and dragon into water. So we can sum it up to this chart doesn't need more wood and water. It prefers metal and fire to warm up and to make the best use of wood. When I said metal, I mean yang metal. Think about it. Yin metal is only a small jewelry. You can't cut the wood. Sometimes when we read charts, we need to think and use logic. What's reasonable? What makes sense? Next, now have you realized in this chart's 8 characters, the majority, 7 of them are yang elements. So far, we haven't talked about the difference between the impact of yin and yang element. We only talked about the 5 elements in case study, but don't forget we have 10, not 5. So here I'm going to introduce you this chart, which is called 10神, the 10 gods. If you Google Bazi 10 gods, you probably get some weird information that you don't understand. But that's what it is. Very hard to explain in a non-Chinese language. But don't worry, don't read too much information. It'll only get you more and more confused. Here I'm going to tell you something. Remember this rule, everything can apply to this. No more confusion. Here we go. Remember this. First, don't look at the label of the earthly branches. Focus on the hidden stems. The hidden stems are the ones that matter to the chart. Second, know if your self-element is yin or yang. If your self-element is yin, then other yin elements in your charts are called your same party, while other yang elements in your chart are called different party. Same thing, if you're yang, then other yang elements are your same party. Yin elements are your different party. Yeah? Digest this same party and different party concept. Now, the more different party elements you have, the more you behave yourself. Again, people with a lot of different party elements in their chart, these people always do things by rule, always play fair, always go by the book. On the contrary, people with a lot of same party elements in their chart, these people never follows the rule, they never listen to you, especially kids, always act like little shit. However, these people you often find them more creative, have more ideas, bold. Most businessmen have these types of charts. While the ones with a lot of different party elements, you find most of them work in 9 to 6 office jobs. So both types have positives and negatives. Coming back to Bruce Lee's chart, 7 out of 8 are same party elements, which made him a quiet, untamed kid in his early age. Now let's look at his 10-year luck pillars. Remember what I said, usually the beginning of each luck pillar is like a changing point to guide you into the next chapter of life. Here in 1954, 13-year-old Bruce Lee made a decision that changed his life, which was to become an apprentice to Ip Man and learn martial arts. Big decision that changed his life. Then 1964, 23 years old, he got married. Now, here is another thing we need to learn today. 1964 was the year of Dragon. Dragon bumps into Dog. Dog is in his partner position, which means Dragon bumps into his partner position. Usually, when an element bumps into one of the positions in your chart, it creates changes. It can be a good change, it can be a bad change, it bumps into your partner position, it can lead to a marriage, or it can lead to a divorce. It bumps into your parents or children position. Maybe your children is leaving you to study abroad, or something happens to your parents. Year 1973, last year of this luck pillar, Bruce Lee died. He couldn't jump over the hurdle to the next luck pillar. Here you may ask, didn't you just say yang metal was good for him? Then this pillar must be good for him. Why did he die in this pillar? Yes, this pillar was good for him. It made him famous. He did a lot of amazing movies. However, here's another thing we need to mention today, which is the unions and hard angles of the heavenly stem elements. We already know a lot about the earthly branches and the union groups and hard angles. What about the heavenly stems? Heavenly stems are very simple. Each element only has one friend and one enemy. Here, yang metal is the hard angle of yang wood. Then you may ask, but you said yang metal is good to make the wood useful. Yes, but there are two yang metals here. And the year 1970 was another year of yang metal. I said yang metal shapes the wood, but too many can kill the wood. And what happens in the year 1970? He broke his back. The yang wood represents bone and tendons in human body. It's the structure of human body. 3 yang metals chops his yang wood. You kind of expect some life-changing injuries. Plus, the year he died, 1973, year of ox. Ox is the storehouse of metal. Then you may say, but you said the storehouse only opens when you see the opposition. Yes, where's the opposition? The month he died was the month of goat. Goat bumped into ox. That was just too much for this chart to handle. It was really dangerous. Now we can talk about unions and hard angles for heavenly stems and what elements represents what part of the body another time if you are interested to know. Otherwise the video would be too long. But I just wanted to say you shouldn't see metaphysics as something superstitious. It's all about knowing more about yourself and know what's coming. If you know there's going to be some injuries or danger, you would be more cautious. It's all about knowing and dealing with what you know in a better way to prevent certain things from happening. Okay guys, that's all for today. If you want to have your personal chart reading with me, you can email me at astroways.info@gmail.com or find me on Facebook at Astroways. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to know more about metaphysics, please subscribe my channel and I'll keep you updated.